can still practice it. You can still practice corners. You can still put crosses into the box in training. Any age group. Right.
Welcome to the show. This is now called Highlight the Roots, where we actually highlight grassroots football, amateur football from all around the world. I've got new guests with me today. I've got Jack Baggley. Jack's a Stoke City fan from Stoke. Did he come from anywhere else?
No.
Cool. And I've got Harry Lawrence. Harry's from Northampton, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Football
stick
team?
with that. Peterborough United.
Peterborough United.
Ivan Toney FC.
Cool. Right, so this is our second episode. We're trying a few things a little bit different today. We've got a little bit more of a professional setup. The topic today, last week's topic was tips for new coaches. I think we've got some good advice and some good tips out there. The topic today, Kandeep came up with this one, I think, didn't you, Kandeep? It's on the new heading rule, or was it you, Jack?
Heading rule, that was the whole thing.
Okay, so yeah, we're going to do the new heading rule for under 18s in grassroots football and academy football. We'll touch on that in a second. Jack's also mentioned about the Hall of Fame in the Premier League, so we're going to touch on that towards the end, and that could be next week's show maybe if we don't think of something else. Just a quickie, just remember, you know, we are looking for subscribers, people to like the video. We want this, want the show to get going. With your help, that can happen. So right, let's start on this. Thinking about the heading rule, as far as I'm aware, boys, it's under 18s.
Yeah, you're right.
To me, seems a little bit excessive. Am I right in thinking as well, you can still do sort of work on corners, work on crossing, and also it's just about the fact that you can't put a ball in front of someone and say, head that, head that, head that.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah?
More or less that. So I think the point of it is because so they've done some research recently into like dementia and stuff,
Right, okay.
into like older people obviously, and like it's normally come from heading a football from a young age.
Right.
So what they want to reduce is just like directly heading a football. So like me, obviously like you said, me throwing it to you, you head it back to me.
Yeah,
Working
yeah.
on technique and stuff. You can still practice it. You can still practice corners. You can still put crosses into the box in training. Any age group.
Right.
But the funny thing for me is I don't know why at younger age groups are working on heading.
Well, yeah, there shouldn't be. Didn't we do something, you might remember this, Harry, didn't we do something like in one of the lectures last year regarding, oh no, I'll tell you where it was, I did it on my FA level 1 or 2, I can't remember, but they told us that under 12s, neurologically, don't compute the ball coming to them at pace.
Yeah.
So you know when you're coaching football and little Dave misses the ball by about a yard, you're, oh, what are you doing? How have you missed that? Well, he's missed it because his brain isn't computing the speed of the ball approaching him. Now, I can't really go into it because I don't know too much about it, but like Kandeep says, why really, Harry, why do you think we are doing heading drills with under 8s, under 9s anyway, if they can't compute the speed of the ball?
Yeah, following up from that as well, like a lot of sort of 8 to 9 year olds, they won't hit the ball anyway, so they'll see the ball coming, and I know you said about the missed time and etc., but a lot of the time they'll sort of duck, they don't want to get hurt, they might get hurt,
So Harry's good point there about bravery with children, you know, going for tackles and particularly popping a head towards the ball. You don't see it very often, and when you do see it, you kind of think to yourself, oh really, well done young man, or well done young lady, you know, because you know, that ball hurts. It does. That ball hurts when it comes in, and that's one of the reasons why they reduce the balls. Quick question for you then, Jack, on this. I know you've got your own points, but a quick question for you to bring you into the show is, why under 18s? Why do you think they've gone to such a high level of, you know, let's have it right, 16, 17, 18-year-old females are adults. You know, they're pretty much fully matured. So why under 18s?
I think it's probably because something probably do with the brains and the skulls. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
They're not fully matured at a young age.
But surely they'll be playing. Sorry to interrupt you, but surely they'll be playing at that level and that age groups more tactical football, to the point where you might get a coach that plays long ball and likes to play a direct ball to a person who's good in the air. How is that person going to be good in the air if they haven't trained to head a ball for 6-7 years, leading up to under 17s and 18s?
Well, we'll only find out further down the line when this has come into place and then younger kids have gone through the process.
Absolutely.
And see if their head
time
is,
process. Yeah.
But what I found online was the study what they used to put the ban on the heading for young kids, the study what was used from I think it's Glasgow University, it had no evidence linking to heading in football.
Really?
No.
I know Alan Shearer did a documentary on BBC.
Yeah.
I don't know if I never saw
Yeah,
it.
but that was focused on like back in the day when they were heavy leather balls,
Yeah.
soaked,
Yeah.
and they would like knock you out if you had one of them.
Yeah.
But from what I found online, there was no link to heading the ball with the disease what was researched.
Yeah.
But the FA said it's just they're using it as guidance and stopping the potential risk of it happening.
Okay.
So
Cool.
Linking back to you, obviously you said a couple of times now about it going all the way up to under 18s.
Yeah.
The way I look at it is in other sports, right? So to sort of combat this whole idea is at 16, 17, especially in males, they start to fill out.
Yes.
Now let's look at boxing, okay? Although you get headgear,
You're going to have to speak up because we've now got someone brilliant.
although
Typical, isn't it?
although they've got headgear on, if they spar, if they fight, tournaments or whatever, they're going to be hitting the heads. Now, personally, I think heading the ball is going to do a lot less damage than what getting punched in the head in boxing would. Even though there is head guards, but that's still at the age of 16, 17. So
like even Charles said, didn't he? He said people wearing like head guards and that, it makes the other person think, well, they're safe, I can proper go for a punch now.
Hits them harder because they've got head guards on. So you're saying other sports then have got more potential for the problems that the FA have found compared to football?
Yeah. I mean, we've
and
all
I
played
think it's back in the day as well. This is all that back in the day because it's people who have suffered with dementia from playing like before my time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously balls have changed since then and stuff like that. So
it's at 16 and 17 as well. Like we've all played football. All our mates have played football. All our families play football. Do you mean how many do you know that actually have an issue? 8 and 9, I totally understand. Do you know what I mean? The like cranium's still forming, but at 16, 17, there's no issues with any of us.
Do you know what? I can go back as we spoke about dynamics of age group on this panel actually. And at 47 years old, when I played football at 10 years old, it was 4-4-2. 4-4-2 everywhere, and I was always big. I was always the big guy at school. Centre forward, pump the ball up, header. So I've been heading the ball since I was 8 years old, and then that carried on all the way through to adulthood. And I had a partnership with a guy a few years ago, big man, small man. It was one of them things that was quite common back in the 90s and 80s. Now you don't see it so much anymore, but there was tactics used by players and by coaches and managers. So constantly the ball comes to my head. Now, what they're saying is that there's different people are affected in different ways, right? It obviously didn't affect me yet. It could do one day, we might find out. Yeah. But then, at the same time, has there been anything proven? Because did you just say there hasn't?
Well, the research what they used to bring this ban in, there was no link to actual heading the ball in football. Right. So I think it's just a precaution from the FA to stop a potential risk of this happening to the next generation.
I'll be interested to find out from viewers what their thoughts are. So please leave some comments down below. As an active coach, will you still carry on doing some of these drills and go against the FA's guidelines? I know Kandeep's got 2 teams under 16s and under 8s.
Yeah.
Will you still carry on doing drills?
So with the under 8s,
sessions with headers?
I've never worked in heading. What I teach the under 8 from a young age is when the ball's in the air, try and kill it dead.
Or let it go over your head?
Well,
because they're not going to kill it dead in the air, are they?
Well, no, but like try and get it under control using your feet. Or if you know the ball's going to go out, have a look where you are on the pitch and just let it go out and stuff.
So are you a screamer and shouter if the ball's crossed in and this lad don't head the ball?
No one heads it anyway, so I'm never saying head the ball.
But
majority of the time corners either go out of play or hit somebody. Very rarely someone makes a connection with it.
Can you not sort of combat it by like introducing, so let's say a floater or a sponge ball, it's a whole different concept in terms of a floater goes here, there and everywhere, sponge ball, the texture of the is so different, but the principle's still there, the foundations. You can teach a defensive header up and out, an attacking header low and hard. Do you know what I mean? You can teach that for the real, so sort of like practice for when they can come up and then head the ball. You can still bring that into training, surely. That
progresses this conversation really, really well because you boys probably done more research than I do, and I have on this, and you can tell me. So are we allowed to introduce heading with a sponge ball, with a softer ball, or is it just all heading, all footballs of all weight?
What I've seen online is you can gradually bring in heading sessions for under 12s.
Yeah,
is it once per week? I think.
Yeah.
All right,
well,
okay.
on it says 1 session a month with a maximum of 5 headers. While under 13 age groups will have 1 session a week.
Oh, so that's new to me. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
With that though, is that 5 headers a month?
Yeah.
5 heading sessions or 5 headers?
5 headers.
5 headers in 1 session a month.
I mean,
So
who's
you're not
going to
going to
police
learn.
this?
You're not going to learn from 5 headers, though, are you?
No, you're not. No, a month.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if you add that up into the fact that they train with you for 9 months a year, 45 times they're going to head the ball.
Exactly.
Whereas how many they probably touch the ball in a whole game? 45 times in one game, maybe. I don't know. You know, that's just crazy. I'm really gobsmacked that we can't use sponge footballs. You know the light footballs you get from fairgrounds that cost 50p. Why can't we use them? Even if you're teaching them, especially in the winter time, it's a bit different. You get a lot of wind, etc. Adverse weather conditions. But in the summertime, you're just chucking the ball up. When them, you know which ones I mean, don't you? The red and black ones, and the blue and black ones, the yellow and black ones. You know, it's not going to harm anybody at all, is it? Why is that a problem? Have they stipulated that we can't use those?
Well, I've seen online again that it says the rules of the footballs is not to over-inflate them.
Right.
And it says to use the lowest pressure allowed for the size of football. And there's a required ball size as well for the training and for each age group. So I imagine for the younger, it's a smaller size ball.
Yes.
With the lowest pressure what you can put in.
Okay.
So I suppose that'll make you a bit more comfy when you're heading the ball and not a big overinflated football coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Cool. Any other points on that, Harry?
Not for me, I don't
No?
think. No.
Cool.
No.
I think from experience, so when I was like 14 years old, I remember we did like a half an hour session in training on heading, and that it was to see who can head the ball the highest. And I'll be honest with you, after that session, I did get a bit of a headache. So
Really?
But that was repeated for half an hour.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
and that's
So
what
it's
they're
a
trying-
constant thing.
I think they're trying to cut that
That's
out.
what they're trying to cut out.
But I've not seen many coaches nowadays do work on it. Everything's ball at your feet.
Okay, so here's one from me then. So, what about the group where you partner up with, you get the players into partners, and basically you are teaching them chest control, off the thigh, can we play it back to each other? So you progress that, don't you? You do off the thigh, play it back. You do the chest, play it back, and then the next one's the header, play it back.
Yeah.
Is that gone? We're not allowed to do that.
The thing is,
anymore.
in a game situation, like personally, especially for me, the amount of times I've had to head a ball to sort of get it under control, like just a little knock just to bring it down.
Oh yeah.
It happens so much that I just think in a game situation, when they are older, how are they going to cope with that? How are they going to cope with the ball higher up in the edge? I mean, it's not something you need to focus on compared to like feet. You need to focus on your feet a lot more, but you still need to put time in to understand
what's your natural position? Where do you play?
Centre half.
Centre half.
Yeah.
Heading the ball's key to
A massive part. Yeah.
So if you look at Virgil van Dijk, best defender in the world arguably at the moment, best centre half in the world. The things he's done, one of the big things I noticed about him, when the ball's coming into him, he's not one of them old-fashioned boom. Let's get it out. He will literally look, scan a little bit to his fullbacks, wherever his side is, and he'll play a ball. He'll play a pass with his head straight into Robertson, or he'll knock the ball back down into Gomez's feet.
Well,
so he's literally go on, Jack.
Sorry, Mark.
No,
I was putting.
So he's literally playing football with his head, as I would do with my feet.
Yeah.
He's making that pass. He's already looking at. Yes, he's a bit. He's a lot more elitist than some of the centre halves. But if I was coaching you and I saw you bang, bang, just get rid of it every single time, I would be saying to you, have a look at Virgil, what he does, have a quick scan and play that ball into your fullback. But a key area of a centre half is heading the ball.
Yeah.
Now, do you think Virgil van Dijk would be the player he is now if he was told between the ages of 8 and 18 he can't head the ball? God, Jack, what was you going to say?
No, I was just going to say, because you were talking about he heads the ball and it's pretty much a pass when he heads the ball. I saw some stat the other day for the most passes in the Premier League. Virgil van Dijk is top of that. And I think second was Trent, and then third or fourth was Robertson.
So I wonder if they class them headers that he puts into Robertson's feet sets Liverpool underway. I wonder if he classes them passes ahead as one of them, or is it just foot passes?
I believe it is.
Because for me, it's a pass.
Yeah.
It's just because it's a pass with your head. It doesn't mean say you're not past the ball. You pass that ball into an area where you're meaning to play it, rather than just heading it out. Anything else on that? No?
What's everyone's opinions in terms of age cap? So where it should go up to? What's
I think
opinion on
18s. I think under 18s is too old.
For me personally, I think. Obviously, everyone develops at different speeds, but when you start to hit the 13, 14 mark is when you should be introducing heading a lot more, because that's when it becomes a big part.
Well, what's the thing?
11 aside.
Yeah, I was
11 aside.
about to say, in the UK, and I don't know what it's like everywhere else in the world, but in the UK, under 14s, we go under 13s, we go to 11 aside.
Yeah.
So surely from there on in, you are playing full on football.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. You know, it's not junior football, it's not little league football, whatever you want to call it. It's not 7 aside, 5 aside, 9 aside. It's full 11 aside.
It's a real
You've got
game.
to be prepared to play real football. Yeah. And it's also the age where really it's starting to become acceptable from coaches to, yes, give equal playing time, but starting to introduce in a bigger way tactics in football.
Yeah.
Now, tactics in football, we could be playing, right, we need to get the ball wide. We're playing 3 up front, 2 wide men. They're going to stretch the pitch. They're going to make it big. Can we get the ball out to the right forward or left forward? What we want him to do? We want him to get the ball out his feet and cross the ball in. What, for a header maybe, or a touch in? You know, if you've got a big lad in centre forward, you're looking at his head. The first thing you're doing is you're opening your body up. You're looking for that cross into his head. If you've got a little whip it, it's different. You're not going to play it into his head. What's the first thing a centre half's going to do? He's going to want to head it out.
Yeah.
You know, we have to think about this in a little way. Yes, we don't want any problems with injuries and neurological problems over in the years to come. But at the same time, football's been a sport for a long, long time. We've been heading footballs for a long, long time. So to answer, was it your question, Harry, about the age group?
The age groups.
Mine will be 13 and 14. I'm assuming you said yours would have been as well. Jack?
I'd say the kind of programme thing, what they've got going now at the minute, is probably all right for the minute. Because
So you're happy with under 18s?
Yeah, because they've not banned heading completely from under 18s. It's like they stopped it for like under 6.
Yeah. I think that's a key point. That's a key point they're introducing it, and that's something I've learned today actually. Because I don't know. However, I don't do much research. What about yourself, Kandeep?
I think I probably have to agree with you. As soon as it hits 11 aside, the way you should be working on it. It's way more tactical, and it's like heading the ball is like a massive part of the game.
Yeah, huge. Cool.
Just quickly on that as well. All kids are going to head the ball anyway. So if they're not afraid to head the ball, they're going to head it anyway. So even if they go down the park with their mates, or if they're at school playing football in the playground, they're going to head a football if they're brave enough to head a football.
Normally, a headed goal at school is special.
A perfect hat trick. Everybody wants one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're going to cut that out, aren't you?
You score a header, it's amazing. At school. Because it never happens. Rarely happens.
Right, let's bring that topic to a close. It's something that's really interesting. If we do get some viewers on this, then definitely leave a comment. Let us know what your thoughts are. As a coach, let us know what your thoughts are in those comments about the heading rules, what age group you would go to, and actually, are you going to, if you're a British coach, I think it's only in Britain at the moment, right?
Yes.
If you're a British coach, are you going to adhere to these rules? Or are you actually going to carry on doing some heading sessions and heading drills? You know, like I said to you a minute ago in the chat, who's going to police this? You know, the FA are hoping that we will go along and adhere to these rules.
It's guidance for the end.
Yeah, absolutely guidance.
I think it's probably because something probably to do with the brains.
Mate, you can use hands, get a pen in your hand if it's easier. Do them all. Pick up on that point. I think we'll touch on that towards the end, and that could be next week's show. Maybe we'll go into something else. Just remember, you know, we are looking at subscribers, people to like the video, we want this show.
They're going to keep people higher up in the edge. I mean, so you need to focus on compared to like